Yeah, start the broadcast here for our Andromeda session for Thursday, the 27th of July. James, you want to check in next?
Yeah. So, today I've had a good day. I finished my exams because I've had a long 2 weeks of constant examinations, and I reached a point where I was tired. But I'm glad that the exams are over and I'm beginning the August holiday. And I'm looking. Actually, we are doing the elections on this August, so I'm like going to do a little bit of sensitization, and I'm so excited that finally, after 4 years of waiting, I can see that I can vote. So today I'm happy for that, and I think I'm a 7. Yeah.
It looks like Lucy's here. Lucy can check in. Hold on.
Okay.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
Would you like to check in?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Today I'm feeling well. Excited to join you.
Anything else, Lucy? Feeling well?
Yeah, I'm saying today I'm feeling well and very excited to join you guys.
Wow. Jeez, it's amazing.
Okay. Jay, what was your number when you checked in?
Jeez, that's nuts. Maybe like a 6.5. Sorry, keep going.
My number is 5.
Wow.
Okay, thank you.
No, it does not. A lot for sure.
Okay, we're done.
That's good. So are you almost done? Then you come home? Okay. All right. Well, I do need to get back to this question here that we're. Okay. Let me see.
Okay.
Bye bye.
So someone's got some background noise.
So we do desired outcomes now.
Yeah, desired outcomes. Make sure.
I was thinking like making sure we focus on the most important deliverables, based on our timeline. That's one thing I would love to do. What was the thing that you wanted to work on, Jorge?
Sorry?
Wasn't there something you wanted to go over today?
Yeah, increased on hours on. I'm checking our next steps from the previous session.
Cool.
there are some priorities for we said on the past week for the next 2 weeks. Recruitment, investors, monoblocks. Okay, we done that. Investor relations and finance training. If possible, we can do some training on those today, at least on finances.
Yeah, investor
Or
relations will
also
be
investor
cool.
relations if we have time.
Yeah, we'll see if we have time for that. It's a little more involved. Investor relations isn't exactly the same as like finances and taxes. We can do the training and get the work done and figure it out, but investor relations is a little more complicated.
Priority projects, responsibilities. Okay, I guess we should move on to priority topics.
Well, I have goals, deliverables, timeline, output and deliverables, bonuses, and finances and taxes.
Okay.
Part of me feels like we were planning on like skipping this week or something like that, and only doing every other week. Curious. Let's look at our previous thing here.
Yeah, I think that we had discussed that on the previous session, but I don't know. Even me, I think it's just a feeling.
I lost the last part, sorry.
I'm saying I thought that we're going to skip this week, but maybe plans do change sometimes.
Yeah, it says proposal, no meeting next week for Andromeda team. Instead, just do buddy teams until the week after. Do every other week. So
Yeah, that's why we're doing this one like shorter, I guess.
well, no, we have an entire agenda and plan for our main session right now. I guess we could just do the main session and try to skip next week, but obviously we need a better way to check on that. Like, how do we get people to double and triple check our schedule? So if we go to the calendar, the other thing we can check is for the quarter moon as well. So it looks like on the calendar it actually has it, the main Andromeda session. So we need to update the calendar. And somebody needs to update the Andromeda main session doc.
Sorry, I guess my internet is not working well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi, Nelly.
Hi.
Hi, Nelly.
How are you? Sorry to delay. It's just that my nephew is here visiting me, so.
Okay.
So Nelly, we were just discussing how we were supposed to not have had a main session today and done buddy teams instead.
Okay.
Yes.
But we kind of just set up and checked in and everything for the main session, and then we didn't update the calendar and buddy team schedule. So, I mean, basically the way I feel is I feel that I don't really think anyone would do that, and that I need to just do it right now with everybody together.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Okay, I'm on it.
So you guys are gonna do it or not gonna do it?
I will remove this session for the next 2 weeks, right?
No. If we want to do the main session this week, then next week we wouldn't do the main session, and then we would do the main session that week after. Every other week.
Okay.
So my question is if I should just do this now or if someone else is going to do it. Because otherwise I don't think it's going to happen.
But that would be on the calendar, not on the buddy team schedule, right?
I think it needs to go on both. Again, you guys aren't answering my question. So my question is very simple. Is someone going to take this on and get it all done and make sure it happens like it didn't happen last week? Or should I just do it now with all of us and like make it a training to show you how to do it all?
Okay, you can do that. I was about to remove it from the buddy team schedule, but say no.
What do you mean remove it from the buddy team schedule? What does that mean?
I was about to remove the session, the main Andromeda session, for the next 2 weeks, but it also should need to be removed from the calendar.
It's still not making any sense to me. So we need to make the calendar every other week, and then the buddy team schedule needs to be updated to show that it is every other week. Is that sense, or does that make sense, or maybe we're just?
I'm just. The session was supposed to be in 2 weeks then.
Yes.
Okay.
So again, what you guys keep telling me is you're like blah 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 blah. The session this and that and this and that. But again, my question is someone signing up for doing this or not? Do we do it now? And I'm getting responses that aren't an answer to that question.
I will remove the session for the next week, and that's what I told you, from the calendar.
So Jorge's updating the calendar. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know what you're doing. I just need to know if you're going to do it.
Okay.
So it's Jorge's doing this, and it's going to get done?
Yes.
Okay. And what about the buddy team schedule? Do we want to update the buddy team schedule as well? And just show that it's every other week and that we have buddy teams in the other hangouts for the off weeks? Is someone going to do that, or should I do that right now, or what?
Yeah, if you want to do it right now, I'll be doing the calendar, or I can do it afterwards so I can stay 100% here.
It's still just like, I just don't understand what that means. It's like either yes, someone's signing up to do the buddy team update, or no, no one's signing up for it. Like a whole sentence about whether you do this or stay after or that this and that, I don't understand. Like it needs to be either yes, I'm signing up to do it, we put a name next to it, and then we move on, or it's like no, no one's gonna do it, so I need to do it, and we should just do it right now.
Yes, what needs to be done? I'm just not understanding. I'm a little bit lost.
We need to update the buddy team schedule and show that it's every other week, right? So right now it just says main session, so just put in parentheses happening every other week, and then you could add the buddy teams and the secondary and tertiary hangouts for the off week so that people understand that there's both the main session and the buddy teams depending on which week it is.
Okay, Jorge and I will do it, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, yes, we'll do it.
Okay, update the
So
schedule.
if you can do that quietly, that'd be great. All right. Okay, so anyways, it's just like when we talk about these tasks, we don't need to like go over them and all the details and everything. It's just like either someone's gonna do it or they're not gonna do it, and we just write it down and move on. Like it shouldn't take 5 minutes to
Yes.
figure out that someone's gonna sign up for it, or just say no, no one wants to do it, and then we just do it, deal with it, and I'll deal with it. You know what I
It's
mean?
just that I wasn't understanding. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So where were we now? So now we're back to our. So we're all in agreement that we're gonna do the main session today, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So the topic proposals is 2 weeks goals over timeline, output deliverables, bonuses, and finances and taxes. And maybe investor relations if you have time for that. So does that sound like a good topic list? Are there any other desired outcomes or topics that, Nelly, we see you guys have?
I'm actually really interested in client relations, so yeah.
Client relations?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then of course we could also potentially do like some buddy team breakouts. For buddy team breakouts, we could definitely do, client relations, finances, investor relations. So are there any objections to our topics? Okay. So let's go into our topic.
Do we need to do some updates?
If anyone wants to do updates, sure. Do we add that in?
Mm-hmm.
You want to
I
do
don't
some
know.
updates?
We have some updates to do. I'm not sure.
I don't have any updates. Do you have any updates?
No, we don't have any updates.
No, we don't.
Anyone else? Okay. Well, let's not do updates if we don't have any particular updates.
Okay.
All right. So goals, deliverables, timeline. So I guess the first thing I want to just do is kind of what I really want to do is kind of like break down the work a little bit more. And so in terms of our priorities, so basically, I think it would make sense that right now we have, team priorities, right?
Yeah.
And then we have overall priorities. And then we have, buddy team priorities and individual priorities. This is kind of like our list of prioritizing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can think of any more than this. But anyways, what I want to add is I want to add a something that's more than the overall priorities, which would be like, major deadline deliverables, I guess. I think it would be good to track this a little separately from the overall priorities so that it doesn't get too all mixed up. But technically it's like a subset of overall priorities, but it's like, So anyways, we're not really going to talk about buddy team priorities or individual priorities for now.
Ranking of priorities.
But I do want to talk a little about the major deadlines as it comes up. So maybe I could go over that really quick, and then we could go over our team priorities, okay? So the main things for the major deadline deliverables are, there's 3 main sections here that I have. One is obviously our client deadlines. We have FQN, and then we have J/Jello.
What is Jello? I'm sorry.
These are things that affect me that need to be dealt with, or it's hard for me to do anything else, And there's two things here. Since you bring it up, it's basically just like the benefits / like Obamacare, right? That needs to get dealt with. I have a deadline of August, I don't know, 15th or something like that, maybe 10th. And then we have like the UIS and Innovate United taxes, which is like August, let's say 12th. And this is EXA Inc. taxes, August 12th. Usually I kind of put it as like, you know, hard deadlines and soft deadlines. So there's a whole bunch of other soft deadlines as well that we could consider here. But I just want to go over these hard deadlines to make sure it's like really clear that we do have these things that we want to get dealt with and done. Oh, and there's also the government for candidate court case. I guess it's more of a soft deadline.
Okay.
All right. So, anyways, I just wanted to make sure we this is obviously far from done, but I want to create. So we have the overall priorities and the overall priorities doc. The team priorities would go into the Andromeda team doc.
I'm not sure in the overall priorities we have the accounting, the one that we were doing the other day, that I think is very important. Jorge and I need to continue doing that. The one where we find where the name of the expenses. I just don't know how to name that. Sorry. I don't know if we have that in the overall priorities, but it's accounting or finances.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily an overall priority right now, but that's we can make it a team priority. It's fine.
Yeah.
So here we're gonna have our goals for the week, right? Another thing I want to mention here before I get too sidetracked, and we'll, you know, so basically we want to create a new doc. So this would be a new doc for the major deadline.
Okay, I'm on it.
Deliverables. So this would be a new doc.
I'm on it.
So basically we would have our major deadline deliverables, our overall priorities, and then we would have our team priorities, which can go in the team doc. We have the overall priorities doc already, which I'm excited about. Let me pull that up real quick. Overall priorities doc. Cool. So this looks good. So goals for week. I think you were talking about EXA accounting. I would just say accounting in general, because there's both EXA and FQN. And so you really can't do accounting without. I mean, you can't do budgeting without accounting. I think I saw Thomas. What happened to Thomas? We wanted him to check in. Looks like we lost him. Maybe he'll get back up.
We have like 3 more minutes from the 10 minutes.
Okay, well, let's go around quickly then. Oh, there's Thomas. Wait, let's stop the timer for a second. Let Thomas check in. Thomas, want to check in?
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
You want to give a number?
Yeah. Today I'm so excited. I'm joining the team. Traveling back to my country. So today I give it 5. I'm did that.
Okay, so we're doing goals for the week. Nelly, do you want to go? Keep going?
Yeah.
So you got accounting. Anything else?
I'm going to attach the link of the document for the major deadline deliverables.
Awesome.
Okay. There.
Great. And this would help us out a lot in understanding the timelines and things, right? Because right now the overall priorities don't really do that. The other thing I was going to add really quick is that all responsibilities need, basically timelines / frequencies / cycles, because I think that'll help a lot. Because when I train things, I think people have this assumption that I train and I talk about things as if it just happens once. It's just like a task, it happens once, and then it goes away, and then people forget about it. So I really want to make sure that it's clear that a lot of these things happen multiple times. Like, so the nonprofit tax paperwork, it'd be one time, right? But taxes happen every year, right? Benefits Obamacare is to be yearly, 5 years. This is one time. Accounting would be monthly. It has to happen monthly. So if you're doing monthly budgeting, you need to do accounting at least once a month for your budget. I want to start adding in the cycle, so when people sign up for these responsibilities, people understand that you don't just do them once. You do them every week or every month or every year, right? Cool. So Nelly, any other goals for the week?
No. Just finish the quarter 2 block. We haven't finished it.
I guess also, if possible, training for finances. You said it was more complicated.
Yes. And also a follow up for the taxes.
Oh yeah, we can send the mails. We send some Slack messages, some mails, but we can send mails now for the tax form spreadsheet.
Yes.
I mean, it's only a one-time thing. Let's give them a few days to respond from the Slack messages before we send the emails.
Okay, do we have a time range for that? Because we started yesterday, so we want to give them around what, 1 week, 2 weeks?
No, just like a couple days. Like maybe tomorrow. So maybe Friday or Monday. Send emails.
Okay, so tomorrow we'll send mails.
So this is ongoing part of personnel support and HR. And just to remind everybody needs to turn in the tax forms, either W-8 and or a statement of working abroad.
Yeah.
Except for Steve, who needs to fill out a W-9.
So we'll send those documents on your email, right?
UnityNet Global.
Yeah, the one we sent, we actually modified the document for FQ, so your email is there.
The UnityNet Global.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so you guys could go, so you could start the FQN one, start FQN communication. Right, so you have to personally request it from every person.
Hello, Jay.
Uh-huh.
Sorry for the interruption. But for a person like me and maybe Lucy and Thomas, we don't need to submit the W-8 or the W-9 forms, right?
You need to at least submit a statement of doing work abroad.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just state what country you're in, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a template for that, so you can just basically copy that.
So like you do have that template, or it's something that you can find on a public domain?
Well, no, I mean, we just have it. We have the template here. I can mark it here. Tax form verification. Tax form for workers. So we can add it here. Here. There. No, it didn't work. What's going on?
Okay, I guess we are time for this.
Well, let's do a couple more minutes. Here, Jorge, do you want to add any other goals?
No, not for me, not for the week. Tax forms, FQ communications, no.
James?
That'll be okay.
James, do you want to add any other goals?
I think for the week I'm sorted.
Thomas?
No, I don't think so.
Thomas, do you have any other goals for the week?
No, I think that is enough saying that we still have like goals like personal goals for the responsibilities, the assigned tasks we already have, like multi-tracking and center block. So that's why I didn't mention those, because they are like normal, like every day we just do that.
Cool. And Lucy, did you have anything you want to add?
No, I'm okay.
Cool. Okay. Do we want to prioritize these at all and have like our top priorities, or should we just move on?
You can move on or prioritize.
I asked if people want to prioritize or if they want to move on. Do you guys just want to move on, or?
For me, I think.
Yeah, we can move on.
So
Yes, we can move on.
Okay, well, I'm still kind of confused there, but I guess we're going to move on. And just so you guys know, like, how much more organized the Sonic team is than the Andromeda team, let's just quickly look at the Andromeda, the Sonic team's organization. So I pull up the Sonic team. Pretty sure it's the Sonic team. So the first thing that you see is basically the list of all the Sonic team priorities. Prioritized from 1 to 13. And each one of them has the percentage at how much it has been complete. And we're at that. And that can go directly into the verification spreadsheet. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So the Sonic team is definitely more organized than the Andromeda team. So that's like eventually the goal, is to get to the point where you're prioritizing, and we're actually every week we're reviewing what has been done and how close we are to completing all of the work that we want to do. All right, but for now we can move on. So let's go to output and deliverables button. So the goal here is just understanding output and deliverables and understanding how to get additional hours and all that good jazzy jazz. Are there any questions on that to begin with, or do you want me just to kind of just do a training, or do a review, or?
No, just one thing. Output and deliverable, the difference between output and deliverable. Deliverable is something like you deliver like physical job, like a document you produce. And output would be some kind of, let's has a document, for example, process you do, but it's not yet being done by the team, right? We were discussing that like 2 weeks before, right?
So let me give you an example. So output would be like the tax forms verification for the Slack messages, right? Right, that is output, right? We did that and took 30 minutes. You went through the whole list of all the people on the tax form. We set up the tax form, and then we did all the messages, right? Another example of output would be the accounting, right, for EXA. And that also took us about 30 minutes, right? So we went in 30 minutes, we started the accounting process. We went through all of the accounts. We verified all of them as best as possible, and we estimated the total amount of money in all of the accounts to get a current status of the present money in the accounts, right? So we completed the responsibility, right? But the difference between completing that responsibility and the deliverable is the final budget, right? So the final budget, like accounting is a step within the budget process, right? So the final budget approved by the board is the deliverable.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
So we were actually not turning any deliverable yet.
Yeah. So another deliverable would be a final
master ledger.
Proposed. Well, actually, you can do individual blocks. So a center block, right? Final proposed. I mean, technically speaking, we want a final approved center block, final approved Q2 block, right? Right, and all the other. So each individual block is going to be a component of the master ledger. The master ledger itself is not. I mean, the master ledger itself is a deliverable, right? So you could say the master ledger, but we basically already did that.
Yeah.
Right. So this is, it's basically we have a draft. So we want a final master ledger. Right now we have a draft. So it's getting close, but the master ledger itself is not really it's like all of these are sub deliverables of the master ledger. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So another deliverable to give more examples is a personnel profile and intake. Right?
But for example, the center block, oh no, I'm not sure about that. No, forget about what I was going to say. I was going to say that the center block 1 and center block 2 was not in the master ledger, but in the accounting report.
What was in the accounting report? The what? The master ledger?
The center, yeah, the master ledger, the center.
Yeah. So that would be an example of another deliverable.
Q1 and the block Q2.
Yeah, another deliverable would be a final finance report.
Yeah, the finance report. Yes.
Right. So that would be another deliverable. Okay. So a more mild example. I mean, these are really, really big projects that we don't even have control over. They need to be approved by the client, otherwise they're not done. Right.
Do you want me to put the list of the list of the deliverables that we have?
No, we're just trying to give people examples.
Okay.
So the other one that's easy to understand is the completed personnel profile and intake, right? And then you also have the completed main buddy team
independence level.
The proposal.
Proposal.
Right. So having that proposal technically is a deliverable. But but the both of these have no bonus. I mean, this is what you're already paid to do, right? So we technically do deliverables, but they're just not what we're getting paid to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
So there are deliverables that people are doing. They're just not necessarily what you're paid to do. The thing to understand about the output is that it's a completed tax form verification of all the Slack messages, right? And the completed accounting for EXA, right? Another example would be the completed payroll verification, for the week/month, right?
Okay.
Right. So it means that it's actually the whole thing is completed and verified, right? Whereas assigned work would be, worked for 1 hour on tax form verification. Worked
for example,
1 hour on accounting, right? Work 1 hour on payroll verification, right? So people can work an hour on these things and not finish them. So then there's still a whole bunch more work to be done. So it's not completed. It's not verified. It's not done. There's nothing completed. That's assigned work. That's what you're paid to do. Output is actually completing the work and moving it forward. But output is typically one step in the process. The final output or the deliverable, wait, you can note that here. This is final output. It means that it's totally 100% done. Would be like these would be examples of that. And so in the context of the tax forms, the final output for the tax forms would be like tax files on each personnel within private personnel files, right? And this would be all workers. Every single worker, every tax file, all completed and organized. That would be a deliverable. And even then, it's not really a deliverable. It's actually still kind of output. I mean, there's almost like this borderline. So like output/deliverable, where it's not, it's like a final output could technically be seen as that. Whereas the actual deliverable is like final finished taxes themselves. Right? So it's like, okay, now we have all the tax files and that's all great. But now we use those tax files to actually do the taxes. So until the taxes are done, you haven't really used this output. Does that make sense? That the actual deliverable is the taxes, not necessarily the tax files.
Right, but those tax files are not available for us in case if you want to help out or take on that output/deliverable.
I didn't understand.
Because it says that all those files for taxes will be only taken care by some managers, right? It's not going to be available for everybody. In case we want to help with those.
I guess I'm sort of losing here, but the point is that the final finished taxes will be a lot of steps, and many people can help with the process.
Okay, but that will be only output, right, or assigned work.
Everything can be output. Like if anything that's assigned work has an output. So it just lists any particular assigned work. Like it's impossible for something not to have output. Output simply means that you complete your assigned work according to the specifications and the criteria of the work.
Okay, just
so all assigned work is output if it is completed correctly and verified, right? So do you want to give an example of assigned work that you're not sure if it's output or not?
I was just being specific because since we are new and we're working on tax files, right? Yes. For example, the tax form verification. So it would be good that we could follow up the full process from the creation from the verification tax form, the tax form log, and then the tax files on each person with private personal.
Is that a question? I guess I missed. Is that a question?
No, I was just saying. Since you listed here, we were working. We started working on tax form verification, right? We created the spreadsheet, we create the log, right?
Yeah.
And we were sending messages. So all of those points are assigned work.
Assigned work.
We had tax form verification. It was an output, for example. But you say that tax files on each personal, within private personal files, right? That will be the next step in output / deliverable. Final output would be the final finished taxes, but we don't know how to do those. We don't know how to go. How can I say this? We cannot be integrated horizontally, horizontal, right? Integration, horizontal integration.
Integrate them.
Yes.
So what's the question again?
So how can we do in order for us to get more deliverables, right? Integrated, all the steps that we need to follow to finally reach a deliverable. Because we do need some more
tools.
Exactly. And training.
Yeah, I mean, we're not expecting anybody to be able to do deliverables at this point in time. Deliverables are a whole nother level and a much higher level of training. I mean, remember, it could take years for you guys to know how to do all this stuff. It's not easy things to do. So it's just we just keep doing it together over and over and over again. Eventually, you'll figure it out. I mean, I guarantee if we just keep working together, you'll figure out how to do all of these things. And there will always be things that you don't know how to do, right? I mean, there's so many things that I don't know how to do. The overall process is problem, brainstorm, find solutions, experiment, figure out what works, keep pushing it until it does work, and then build your system around what's working, and then go on to the next problem, right? So it's it doesn't matter what the issue. I mean, think about what we're trying to deal with right now. We are trying to deal with massive global crises of the entire environmental, biodiversity of the planet collapsing because of corporate greed and in corrupt governance, and humanity itself basically at the precipice of basically future generations losing all their rights, and a massive population decrease of as much as 80% of the population, right? So it's what we're up against and the problems that we're up against, no one knows what the solutions are. I can't train you how to fix the planet. You know what I'm saying? So whether you're talking about the big picture problems or, how do we do the taxes for, brand new trust taxes? I've never done taxes for a trust. So now we have to do trust taxes. We're going to figure it out. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter that I've never done taxes for trusts before. It's you research and you study it and you learn the processes, you read the instructions, and you just keep doing it until you figure it out. And we do it together, and that's what buddy teams are all about. That's why we're here. That's why we're a team. That's why we're the Andromeda team, because as a team, we are capable of solving any problem. Right? As individuals, we have no chance.
Okay, we are time for this point.
Okay, well, we still need another as much as 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, we still haven't even gotten by the definition of just the assigned work, the output, and deliverables. And I think this is really important, so let's keep going. So let's make sure it's really clear. So the tax form verification system that me and Jorge and Nelly put together, we got the spreadsheet, we organized the responsibility, we have the responsibility doc. That is a deliverable. Right? We created a system, we laid out step 1, 2, 3, we finalized that, it's all completed. I mean, it's technically a borderline deliverable. It didn't actually produce anything, so it's not really a deliverable, but we completed something, right? And we even did the first day of the Slack messages, right? So that was output. So it's we did that, we finished it, it's output, we're excited about it. We can check it off the list, right? So the actual completed process is tax files on each personnel, and this is pretty much borderline a deliverable, I mean, this is another example of a borderline deliverable. Borderline deliverable would be payroll. So you worked an hour on payroll verification. but didn't finish it, that would be assigned work, right? Output would be payroll verification completed, right? We completed the payroll verification, but did we finish the payroll? No.
No.
So if you actually finish the payroll, which means that everyone got paid, and the finances were tracked, that is a completed payroll cycle, totally done. The problem with payroll is there's nothing to really show for it. Like, it's great that we paid everybody, but there's no deliverable that actually is like a final outcome or like an actual document or anything. I mean, all we really did is just lose money, right? We just sent all this money out. So the payroll itself isn't technically a deliverable, right? But it's also more than just the output itself. So it's kind of like maybe there's another term here. So maybe there's another term that we could create for in between of output and a deliverable, where it's basically like you finish something, it's totally completed, at all the output steps, but it's not really a deliverable, right? So the tax files are that same sort of thing. We can finish and get all the tax files for all the people, which by the way, is very, very difficult to do, right? That whether or not it's even possible to do this, we might need to fire people or whatever if they're not willing to do the documentation or not pay them. I mean, it's very complicated, right? So the point is that there's a difference between assigned work. Output is very doable. You just complete it based on the specifications, and then you have the deliverables. Maybe we should call borderline deliverables final output. Maybe this is what final output is, and then deliverables are actually documents. Actual documents and finished products. You think that's okay, Nelly?
Yes.
Yeah. The key thing about a deliverable is it's an actual document or some type of finished product, like a finance report, a master ledger, the actual budget, and they need to be approved and verified and done. All right. So anyways, are we good on the definitions?
Yes.
Okay. So now the question that's more important is how do you, one, increase your hours. So one is like increase hours, and also like how to record output. So one thing on increasing hours really quick. So the main buddy team proposals, budget for budget, right, can be updated and are due, August 1st in just a few days. And this will be for the September-October budget, which is 6 weeks away. So you can update your hours here if you want to do that. And this would be what we call the base rate. Right, so in addition to the base rate, you have your base rate, and then you can get, your base rate / base hours. And then in addition to that, you have your output / output bonus hours, right?
Yep.
And then you have your deliverables, deliverables, which are basically bonus hours / flat bonus. Okay. So flat bonus would basically be like, we could offer prize money or like a flat bonus. Like if you complete this, you get the money regardless of how long it takes you. And then the bonus hours is basically just added to your bonus hours. And do you guys understand the idea of like if you work, like let's say you have 30 hours of work per week and you do a bunch of output, but you only work 20 hours, that we're not paying you additional money for working the same number of hours you already work. Does that make sense? Or should I explain that more, or do you guys understand that?
Basically, if you work like the hours you were signed off to work, you need to work a lot more if you want to get like back pay or something like that, right?
Yeah, this would cover your back pay. Like the bonus hours cover the back pay and actually are paying you for additional hours that you work on top of your base hours.
Okay.
Yes. Coolio. So any other questions on that, or ready to go? Just like we can just basically go through the example of how to record output.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Example will be good.
So I think the best output is the accounting, right? So with the tax form verification system, first of all, it was more of like training. I mainly did that. Plus, it was like, you know, we like it's just more of like the system of what all we did was a couple Slack messages, and it wasn't really the completed anything, right? But we actually did
So
complete the accounting. The accounting
do we have
was
to do
completed.
like a personal file for everyone?
For what?
For every person?
For what?
For the taxes?
Yeah, everyone's gonna have a private personnel file for their tax documentations.
Okay.
And some of that might even be stored on physical computers locally as well.
Okay.
Anyways, let's not worry about it. Let's focus on the accounting. So the accounting, what we went through the accounting, we completed it, it was done. We were able to move on to the next step, which was budgeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a perfect example. We probably spent maybe 1 hour on it, right? So about 30 minutes was like real output, you know, I would say. Possibly less than 30 minutes, but we'll just average it out to like 15, 30 minutes, okay? We probably spent like 1 hour on it. We did some training, we learned about it, or whatever, okay? So let's, and this would be recorded. We can record this as Buddy Team, Jay, Nelly, and Jorge output as well. Not sure exactly what that'll mean, but we can technically do that. Buddy teams can also be doing that. So the first thing I would go to Jorge's main doc. And our main doc, our super doc is just a complete disaster. What a mess. All right, so here we go, Jorge. And then we would go to Jorge's work reporting doc. And then we would go to the week of, oh my God, this is so confusing. July 24th to 28th. So the first thing to note here is that it's the week of July 23rd to 29th. Oh, but you just do the work week, okay? And then all of this, I would just get this out of the thing so that you can see it. Bam. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I believe, okay, so first of all, you don't have even assigned hours here. Okay, so for your week, you would have, you know, overall work hours is 2, 4, 6, 8.5, right? So far. Okay, and I would go ahead and make this not bold. So your assigned work hours is 0 because you're not tracking anything, right? All you have is meetings. There's no tasks. There's nothing that you did work on. Does that make sense? Then you have client hours, again, is 0, and then output hours is 0, okay? So let's say we go into...
But within the body teams, there are content hours and output hours as well.
I know, but you just don't log them in your work report, so there's no way to know. You have to actually log them in your work report. So I'm going to explain that right now. So yesterday is when me and you and Nelly worked on accounting, right? So we worked on accounting, and we could say 1 hour, right? And then we could also say accounting output 0.5 hours. if you wanted to. You don't have to put that here, but it's not a huge deal. So typically what I would do, weekly buddy team calendar. So this right here should go on your main doc. Is it okay if I delete this and put it on your main doc?
Sure.
Yeah, so your weekly buddy team calendar just goes on your main doc. Kind of part of like your availability and your buddy teams and stuff like that. Your work reporting is just for your work reporting. So see here we have deliverables. You worked on the master ledger some, weekly value tracking others. So anyway, so deliverables, and now we're going to start like output. All right, so this would be what do we do? We did accounting output. 0.5 hours. Okay.
Mhm.
So the main reason you put it here is because you want it to get verified. And then here you have your output, your accounting hours. So your assigned work would now be 1. Your client work would also be 1 because it's exa accounting. And then you have 1 hour of 0.5 hours of output. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so on every session that we have, on every buddy team, because on every single buddy team we work, we do output hours and we do client hours as well.
And or assigned hours,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's like you don't have to do that. You just don't get the value for it, right? So the reason why you be tracking this value or this time is not just to get paid. You're not going to get paid any more, although the output you can get paid more on that if it's verified. But the actual buddy team time is just your work time. So if you want the value of the client value and the output value and your assigned hours value, you have to track it. So we're not expecting people to just like track every single little like 5 minutes or whatever. So you can kind of average it, and you know, sometimes you just won't care about it. You know, for example, the main Andromeda session, there really is not much assigned work. I mean, maybe you could put 0.25 hours on like session value tracking afterwards, right? But it's just not a lot. So some people, and that would be assigned work hours, right? But other than that, it's like, it's not, Andromeda session doesn't have assigned work hours. It's not work, it's training and it's talking and it's making decisions, right? So are we on the same page on that?
Mhm.
So for here, for buddy team Jay, Nelly, and Jorge, we know over here we worked on the tax forms, right? So we could say exit tax forms for 1 hour, and then that would be 2 hours of client work. So now you have 2 hours of assigned work, 2 hours of client work, right? And you're gonna put this in like, you know, you could even make it smaller so that it's really clear, you know, that it's different from the primary hours.
Yeah.
Right. So you can see how this is not equal to, you know, 3.5 hours. It's 2 hours with 1 hour spent on this and 1/2 hour of that spent on that. Does that make sense?
Right.
Some people would, you know, add it up as 3.5 hours, but it's not 3.5 hours. It's just 2 hours. But this is the meeting that you did, which would be just overall work. This is the actual work that you did during that meeting.
Right.
Yeah. And maybe you had multiple meetings that day, so you would have another line here that said, you know, buddy team Jorge and Steve, right? And then that could be a whole nother amount of time and everything, right? Cool. So any questions on the work report itself, or are you ready to move on to the logging of it in hours?
Yeah, no questions.
Okay.
So
now we're going to go to where you log it, right? So everyone's responsible for logging their hours in spreadsheet, right? Obviously, if you don't, you know, someone goes in and makes sure you do it as well. But I mean, it's like you're supposed to.
Yeah, actually, there's where I put the client hours and the sign hours.
I'm going to show you that right now. So here we have for work week of July 24th to 28th, which is actually 23rd to 29th, is 8.5 hours for overall work. So we come in here, we go hours worked, we find Jorge, we get 8.5 hours. Okay, so that's done.
Yeah.
And then we come down here, and this is where all the assigned hours and all the other things go, right? So for Jorge,
Yeah, there's where I was putting them.
yeah, right here it says 11 hours of assigned hours. Yeah, so for last week, for example, if we went to your work report and we go to last week, we would just say 0, that there's no assigned hours. There's no work here. Like, we're not going to give you credit for that. Does that make sense?
Right, but as I said, just because I didn't break them like you did over there, because on everybody team we work on example tracking or in center block or like different things that are related to client work and assigned work.
I know, but how is anyone supposed to verify it? It's like you don't have any client hours here. You just have 11 hours of assigned work. So we can assume that you did assigned work, but there's no way to verify it without clicking on 5 different sets of notes and trying to figure out what you did in the buddy team session. I mean, if I looked at this, it's just the Andromeda main session. So that wouldn't even be counted as assigned work at all.
Right.
So we know it needs to be at least 9 hours. It can't be 11 hours because you spent 2 hours on the Andromeda main session, which isn't assigned work in the first place, right?
Yeah, right.
So then you come to buddy team, Jorge, and it's very not clear on exactly what you did and what you spent that time on. I mean, it has a list of here things that you may have done. You may have worked on the quarter block, but how much did you work on it? The lunar session. So anyways, we can assume that you did some work, but do we know what it was or how to assign? I mean, the point of it is that eventually, once we're doing all of our token systems and our equity systems, value systems, you will literally be assigned finance credits and working on the master ledger. Like the master ledger will have its own credit system that you will be getting value based on your master ledger work. And that's what the assigned hours is, right? The assigned hours is actually putting an effort to not just writing that you did work in general, but you actually did this specific type of work.
Okay.
So anyways, I would say that this would be not verified, right? Anyways, but we can do, let's just finish up this week because this week's easy. So we know you did 8.5 hours so far, and then we go to here and we say, okay, we know you did 2 hours of assigned work, 2 hours of client work, and 0.5 hours of overall of output. So we
also did payroll.
2.5. Payroll? What?
We also did payroll this week.
Okay, well, the point is that obviously this would go up, but you need to write it in here, right? It would be, maybe that was Monday. We did payroll on Monday. So no matter, you put exa payroll 1 hour, or exa payroll 2 hours, or an hour and a half, or whatever. Okay, so typically your actual assigned work, like if you worked for 2 hours, it's all but impossible to do a full 2 hours of assigned work or client work or output or anything, right? So typically if you work for 2 hours, you actually get an hour and a half of work done, right? Or an hour of work, right? So your assigned work hours should always be less than the actual number of hours that you worked. Otherwise, we would be, what's going on here? You know? Anyways, so for the FQN output, it's pretty simple. We basically would take your pay rate and your hours. So like, let's say if you're doing $75 a week, it's in 10 hours. Is that right? $75 a week divided by 10 hours. So you're getting paid $7.50 an hour. That we would multiply that by 0.5. So that would be like $3.75. So technically speaking, if you worked this week more, and it's all verified and everything, it would be, if you work, what is it called? Back pay?
Yes.
Would be credited. So it's $3.75. Right? So that could just go up from there. This would be the value of the output, which technically is client output. So this is FQN output, and this is client output. So you can, oh wait, although, and this is the accounting. So actually I'm not 100% sure if that actually is counted. So the next thing we would do is we would go to the actual budget. And this is where, like, so if you put here, we would see on your work report, okay, there's output here, right? So we want to be like, oh, wow, this is output. It's a task. It needs to be verified and reviewed. So my job would be to review that output before thinking about the bonus. So I would go to the budget. So first I would make sure you did it and that's verified, which I did, right? And then we're going to go to the budget. And then in the budget, we would click on output and see what is actually in the output budget. So we have finances and taxes in the output budget, umbrella accounting and finance. So this wasn't really umbrella accounting and finance. We have budget, worker coordination, past value tracking, personnel support, accounting. Right? So there we have $50 for accounting. So Jorge and Nelly. Right? So now that equates to that we know this has been verified, that it's definitely doable to give you an additional $375 based on this half an hour of output for specifically the accounting. Right? So if there was something in here, like let's say we had the output of, where is it? Oh my God. I seem to have lost it. Did I close it? No, I couldn't have closed it. Did I? Oh, here we go. So the other one would be, an example would be tax forms and personnel. Well, maybe we could have personnel support here. You could say that the tax forms is under personnel support.
Okay.
I would be fine with that, with tax forms being under personnel support. So that could be additional money for that.
Hi, Jay.
Yeah.
Can you differentiate between client output and FQN output?
Well, right here we say that some of them are for both. Like if you work on finances and taxes for either EXA or FQN, you have bonus options. Right? So investor relations, we're only giving bonuses for our investor relations. If you work on on client investor relations, which you technically could, we're not giving a bonus for that. Right? FQN overall priorities, worker coordination, we're not really coordinating things, but we do have board and executive support for both. Buddy team support, communications, accounting is for both. So we still need to do the accounting for FQN, which is much more complicated. Treasurer, payroll, right? You guys have been helping a lot on the payroll for both FQN and EXA. So some of that is output, right?
I want to believe so.
Yeah, me too.
Value tracking, overall, all the things you do, guys, for value tracking, every single week you complete a value tracking cycle, it's all output, right? We don't have a big budget for it, but it is technically output.
Nice.
This would be EXA and FQN. Bryce is gone. He is resigning. General involvement intake. This is personnel support. Documentation support. This is kind of like some of the stuff. Well, getting documentation's output is difficult. We need to do some more training on that, but it's possible. Legal support and general processes structure. A lot going on there. Team development, actions, decisions. So the point is that it's as long as you're completing something, you can get output value. And you should, like, everybody should be trying to complete things regardless of whether you're trying to get the bonus or not, you know? So like in many ways, the bonus, it's just like bonus hours. It's not like a big deal, especially for people who already have 20, 30 hours. And it's just like, you know, but it's here in case people work overtime or like, you know, I could either work, you know, let's see here. Is this today? I think this is today. So option 1, I can work 1 hour and then stop, you know, and get paid. Option 2, I can work, you know, 1.5 hours and actually complete the work and get paid a, you know, all my hours, right? So if you think you can, the idea of the bonus for the output is that if you think you can actually, instead of just stopping, if you could keep working and actually complete the work and get it done correctly, which might mean talking to me, talking to, you know, Abdul or Lucy or anybody who knows how to complete that particular work and learn how to make sure it's done correctly, you can get the bonus hours. So it's like, it'll, even though you're working more hours than you would be technically paid for because you hit, right? Maybe this is like that you hit your max hours, right? You can still get paid for that if you, as long as it's like actually finishing. Where you can't just like work 20 hours when you're supposed to get paid 10 hours and not accomplish anything and get paid for it. You see what I'm trying to say? If you accomplish it, then you automatically get paid.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the purpose of output. That's why it exists. But it takes a lot of effort and work to actually finish things. You know,
Yeah.
most people just don't care about finishing things. And remember, we're not even talking about deliverables. We're just talking about one step towards accomplishing the deliverable.
Yes.
All right. Anyways, I think we're pretty clear on this. Any other questions on how to increase your hours and your base hours and how to record the output?
No.
No. Okay. So
No, it's good.
let's move on.
Good.
Finances and taxes. So the first thing to know is the finance and taxes are major deadlines. Specifically August, like 12th or something like that. And this is when the for-profit taxes are due. We have 3 sets of for-profit taxes. Exit Inc., Innovate United, LLC, and UIS. Typically, what you have to do is do like an 1120 slash 1065 plus K1s. And there could be like a bunch of K1s. So that's basically what we need to complete. To be able to do that, so we need to do the actual finances. So there's 3 parts. There's the finances, there's the actual tax forms, and the K1s, which are the supplement tax forms. So does you guys understand the the goal here?
Yep.
Okay, so let's see if we can review.
Actual tax forms.
And then it is good to note that there's also the individual taxes, which happen in September 12th, right? And then you have the non-profit taxes, which are October 12th. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And the dates aren't exact, but whatever. We can not worry about that. All right, so next thing I want to do is pull up the notes. So the overall priorities doc.
I think we should put that information into the taxes doc.
The tax plan? Sure, we can.
what
But
we're
all
doing
that
yesterday,
information is already in the tax plan.
Oh, that they are due on September 12th and October 12th?
Yeah, except it has the exact due date.
Okay, all right.
Again, the tax plan is not the tax verification form, right? So the tax plans itself is like a whole different document.
Okay, okay. I don't want to get confused. Okay.
Yeah. So this has some of the tax stuff here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also this information indexing stuff that we need to be doing. So for now, I'm just going to pop it in overall priorities because we have such a lack of responsibility organizing.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get better at it over time. So I already covered some of the specifics here. Overall, I need to find the UIS bank statements. This is really, really important. So anything that I can get more time to be able to do that is going to be helpful. We can technically can order them from the bank for like, I don't know, maybe like $100. But it would be nice to save $100, right?
I don't think it will be 100.
Usually it's like $7 per statement, and there might be like 24 statements. So let's see what that equals out to. Let's say it was only 5 times 24 for a checking and savings account, so it could be $120. So hopefully we can just find the actual downloads, because I downloaded all of them. I just need to find it. It shouldn't be too bad. But it just takes time, right? So this might take like an hour to find those documents and upload them. All right, so then we figure out how to edit. Oh, so this is another thing. If we could edit PDFs online, this would help us substantially with being able to collectively edit and work on the taxes together instead of me just doing it by myself.
I can help you with this.
I would like to help too.
Help what?
With the taxes?
Okay, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like turn PDFs on Excel files or doc files.
Yeah, like know how we can all collectively edit this Word doc together, this Google Doc?
Yeah.
Right? If we could all edit PDFs together, collaborative PDF editing and filling out the PDF forms, like which is how all tax forms are done, that would be a huge benefit to being able to complete the taxes collectively from all over the world. Because then we could all be reviewing the taxes and everything, as opposed to being, only on my computer, so you would only be able to see my screen. You wouldn't actually be able to edit anything,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I don't know how to do that. No idea. And I've been starting to research it, and I have not gotten a particularly happy response. But okay, so Exit Inc. is almost done. We're really close here. It's very, very happy. UI, we want to go over this real quick. And this we haven't even started, right? So, we're in pretty good shape. I think overall we're in pretty good shape. So let's go over what we've already done. So for Exit Inc., the main thing is that there's about 7 tasks that we need to review the task list, and then we need to start communicating with Exceli and Vienna to get those get understanding about what that money was spent on. So let's start with the link to, so if we had all the things organized, it would all be linked already. But I don't think it is. Let's give it a try here. So if I go back to here, projects virtual drawer. So I should be able to just go to finances. Right here, finance.
Where is that that drawer?
The projects virtual drawer.
Yeah.
I link it on like my main doc and everywhere. It should be linked everywhere. I mean, just link it to all of the super team docs and like anywhere you can possibly imagine. It's just a great thing to have handy.
I would like to link it everywhere, but I don't have it. I don't have it.
Yeah, I definitely mentioned it before. Link this
Okay.
all over the super team docs.
Yeah.
All right. So and then the other thing we want to link right now is just want to link the finance doc. If I open up the finance doc, the first thing that we should see is a list of the priority 2016 taxes, which is Exit Inc., Innovate United LLC, and UIS. So if we go to Exit Inc., we have no umbrella ledger, which is okay, so we're going to wait on this. And then we have the Exit Inc. expenditure sheet and the savings. So the savings still hasn't been done. So this still needs to be done, which is concerning because I thought someone did it already. So one of the problems that people are having is that people aren't linking the actual documents into the right place. Training videos on finance, like what is this? All right, well, this is a reasonable beginning of responsibility organizing, right? So that's kind of cool that we have that. Exit Inc. partnership. So now what I'm looking for is the other finance link here. All right, finance project doc. This should be it.
We are on minute 10 out of 15 from this topic.
Okay, cool. Thanks. So these are all the ones that haven't gotten done. We have a whole bunch of issues in these Coinbase accounts. Some are working, some are not. So spreadsheet finance, exit mesh verification, checking, Exit Inc., Easy Enterprise checking, Innovate United. So these are the all old ones. These are all the old ones that we did before. So for whatever reason, we seem to be missing the new ones. It's like everyone said, like, oh, we did it. It's totally complete. Everything's done. And then, of course, nothing exists. Like this is like the story of my life where people ever always say that it got done. I think you were saying it got done, Lucy. You said everything got done with Exit Inc. So where is it? There's nothing here. Like the savings one isn't here. It's just not. It's not here. It's not there. And you said it all got done.
No, I did not do Exit Inc. I'm always done with the Exa Sakari. That was what I was doing.
Okay, well that's definitely what people need to take responsibility for all of the finances and taxes, not just, oh, I'm just going to work on this one thing and ignore everything else. You know, so it's like we needed getting everything done. And so it's still not getting done, even though we've done all the trainings for it. People are saying that it's all getting done, but it's not, okay? Anyways, let's go through what did get done, which is excellent, is that we went through this entire spreadsheet of all of the finances. And this is a big mess. We gotta reorganize this based on the date. So we always keep everything organized based on date. So here's all the 2016, and we're really only concerned about 2016 at this point in time. you would have, oh. Yeah, so when the balance gets kind of messed up, sometimes you have to just like drag it up a little bit to fix it. But it usually works pretty quickly. All right. Although it's really, really high. Why would the balance be this high? Doesn't make any sense. Something wrong somewhere. Oh, look at this. Why is this a date? So someone obviously messed this up. It's really bad. So this is a big problem that someone put a date instead of the amount of money.
Probably change the format, and you will get the
format.
Let me check.
No, that's definitely not the problem. Anyways, like if people keep making these kind of mistakes and like they're like, oh, we finished everything except we just not only didn't finish it all, we messed it what was done up already. You know, we're gonna have to like just not allow people to help. All right, so it's this one right here. It's 1014. Why can't I do this? All right, so we go to 1014. It's $5,200. Negative $5,200. There, that makes more sense. All right, so now
there are some gaps. The gaps are marked in red, right?
Those are just questions. All right. So if you look here, if we look at 2016, you have one yellow, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, no, those are 17. There's about 10. Okay, so there's really not that much. Additionally, if we have everything organized, we should be able to go to the finance task list. And then it should be here. Transaction priorities for 2016. So these are the red, Exceli, right? What is this transaction? What is this transaction? Both of these transactions are obviously related, right? Ideal counsel online, ideal counsel online. So these might be legal. We want to confirm. Wells Fargo direct payment offices, right? 9,000. Right? What is this? This could be computers that we need to figure out. Maybe it's rent, right? So these you just need to check with Exceli. So here are the yellow ones that are concerning, but obviously we're not as concerned about the yellow ones as we are about the red ones. And it looks like this is actually rent. Rent and deposit. So we might be able to get out of that. So what date was that? So that was 9/15. So we would come in here, we would go to 9/15. Rent, other loan, complicated. So I think we could just say this is rent and make it yellow. Rent.
Is like there any way we can help out in checking the yellow gaps or the red gaps?
Yeah, well, we're going to start with the red gaps. And this is the finance task list where we put all of the red gaps for everything. And we're going to make these ones yellow because we just decided that we know what it is better. That didn't work out as well. Weird. All right, let's just delete and deleted. So if I delete 915, actually I might be able to update it. Update. No, it didn't work either.
Where's that finance task list?
It's on the finance doc. So if you go to the project finance doc, or the project finance docs, it's right here. Task lists, finance task lists, near the top.
Okay.
Right before training videos on finance. So basically I'll show you how to do that again. If you watch all the finance videos, it would all be in here, all in there already. But basically what we're doing is we're taking this one for 915. I'm just copying and I paste it into the task list under yellow. So there's all these like loans, right? So loan, legal lawyer, right? Which we also had up there. Loan, purchase, go air, right? Go air. We don't know what go air. Group oil mission. I mean, this is obvious. What do you think group oil mission is? It's travel. So, and it's not even yellow. So there's no reason for this to be here. That was a mistake.
Go air is traveling.
Yeah, this is just oil. This is a gas station. So it's travel. So
Go air is in-flight internet and entertainment provider.
Yeah, so maybe that's okay. So it's part of travel. All right, so it's there. Cool. So yeah, so that's how you do it. You look things up, figure out what it was spent on, right? So now we can take those away from being, right? So now we know this is travel, so we can do reset and make it white again. And so what was the other one? So 1128 and yeah, they're both 1128. So someone just put it twice for no reason. And someone also put the legal services twice for no reason. Wait, no, legal services, this is separate. Cool. So are there any questions about how to take care of these?
Well, I was checking that I got the same documents you have open over there, and so we just have to check the red ones, turn it into yellow ones. Also, the yellow ones need to be checked, right?
Yes, but we're gonna do the red ones first, right? So then now there's really just two.
Means a little bit or a lot of my internet dropped for a little bit.
So, I mean, we would want to do these two first, separate from all these other ones. So do you understand why we would do that?
Yeah, they need to be verified date and amount and where
all that we need to figure out is what all we have to figure out is what the money was spent on. Hi, Exceli.
Okay.
There's this transaction from November 3rd, 2016 of over $7,000. We have no idea what it is.
So the first thing is like checking the document, the finance task list, check the red ones, and then cross them with the spreadsheet, right? When we got them verified.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Like, what?
So you say that I'm asking. First, we need to check the finance task list document, right?
This right
check
here. This
for
is the
the red
finance
ones.
task list. This is it.
Or first we need to check the spreadsheet. Which one goes first?
I mean, they're supposed to be the same.
So the document is just a recording of what is on the spreadsheet, marked in red or yellow.
Yeah. So if we had Innovate United, it would go here in Innovate United, right? UIS. I mean, whatever organization, we would have it here, and we would just, this is Exit Inc., right?
Okay.
So I mean, I think we should step back and review the finance steps? Because I think you guys are starting to confuse more things, which
Yes, please.
is not going to help you at all.
Okay.
Yeah, we're done with this subject. It's 20 minutes from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys think you want to stop, or should we keep going a little more?
I just want to go back a little bit because
All right, well, let's just keep going. Let's do another like 8 minutes until we have to stop,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
we're going to be good. So the first step is downloading and getting the CSVs and bank statements, right? And that's what is seeming to be blocking moving forward at this point, because that's just not happening. Like we don't, or people are doing that, and then I don't know where they're putting the links.
okay, where are the CVs? CSVs.
Well, there's a video to this. Someone should link the video.
Okay.
And then there's also the link to the actual CSVs, which CSVs process verification spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you probably haven't watched that particular video yet, but if you go to finance videos,
Okay.
downloading and creating a spreadsheet and copy it into Google Spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
There's that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the link, which would be over here. So these are all the other CSVs that people did. And this is where the online finance folder CSVs is. So this is basically steps 1 and 2. Oops.
Okay.
All right, so so you go in here, right? It's really easy. You have, okay, here's FQN, here's the new ones. These are all the new ones that were supposed to have all been done already, but I can't find them. And that was like weeks ago. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's all done. It's like, well, where is it? And then you have the wait, that's FQN. And then you have VZ Exit Mesh, and these are the ones that were already started, and this is the new one, Exit Inc. Wells Fargo Savings. So it's like that one hasn't gotten done either. So we make this really simple as possible. Like just do the new ones, don't worry about the old ones, and then we'll have that all done. So then after that's done, you have step 3. You sync and upload CSVs with the Google Spreadsheets. You start to make sure the finances are clear. You have the video for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this might be it or not. I think this probably is it, but I don't know.
So we also can do like self-training with the videos, but what if we have like any questions about it?
But you can ask them.
But we can ask them on the buddy team, or only when you are
Well,
on.
I mean, technically, that's when you should be watching the videos, is during the buddy team, unless you want to get assigned tasks to do the work and everything like that. But we can try to work something out. But the point is that.
So we can have like buddy teams and like take like half an hour watching videos and then working on what we just watched in the video and asking questions
Sure.
And then if we're not completely sure, right?
Yeah.
We can do that.
Of course.
Okay.
How are you supposed to do something if you don't know how to do it? You know.
Okay. Because I was telling Nelly that we could also work on the mornings as well, and like self-training would be like a good way to start on this finance documents and videos.
Yeah. So I mean, Nelly has like two buddy teams you can schedule. You guys need to put it on the buddy team schedule. It needs to go in the calendar.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, step 1 and 2 are the downloading and the uploading the CSVs. Then you're going to sync them with the actual ledgers. You do all the filling, the gaps. You fill in all the categories. Red is big problem. Orange is medium problem. Yellow is like other questions, but not really a major issue, right? And then you make sure that you update the finance task doc list, that all the red, orange, and yellow options are tasks in the list. And then you're able to contact the people. This is step 5. This is where we're like seem to be stuck, right? So we need to actually do it. Only do like 1 to 5 at a time. Focus on the red ones, you know, and it needs to be really clear. Like there needs to be verification, and you know who is doing that, and it needs to be like, you know, written down in the task list that this person was contacted on this day and that we heard back from them, and then we can delete it. You know, it just needs, and I need to be CC'd on everything, right?
Okay. Question, Jay. Is it possible to finish up with the red ones we already have on the spreadsheet and then move on to the new ones?
I'm not sure if I understand, but I mean, I'm assuming, of course. Like, I mean, we just need to get the work done.
Because as far as I understood, we need to update the spreadsheet with new information, right? New dates, new withdrawal expenditures, new balances, right? But is it possible, like, to finish up with the red ones so we can actually know exactly how to do them if we're doing it right, and then move on into updating the spreadsheet and go over the new ones if there are some red ones or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think the answer to that question is yes, of course, please, please, please. Like, do the work.
Okay.
I mean, I'm begging people to do the work. Yeah, like we want to get the work done. all 7 of these steps can be happening simultaneously. There's no need for like, oh, we're not going to do anything else for anything until every single organization and every single account, all 100 of them, are completed with step 1. That would be insane.
Mhm.
Right? That would take way too long. It's like all 7 of these steps can be being worked on simultaneously for different organizations and different accounts all the time.
Okay.
Does that answer the question, Jorge?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So after we finalize this, I mean, there's just a few main ones for Exit Inc. Then we would do all the records by a year about the different categories: travel, rent, office expenses. And then we'd fill out the taxes, and then we're done. We can send them off.
Mhm.
So we're really close here. I mean, it's definitely coming together, especially for Exit Inc. for the client ones. So then the other 2.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, hey, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
You're 2 hours late and an hour early.
Yes,
One of the 2.
we really are close on the tax. Yeah, I know for a fact that we just got to keep bugging Vienna or anybody else to send us the paperwork. And you have
All right. So
stuff on the computer for the closed account.
okay. So
Well,
anyways, just
I'm sorry.
Nelly, you want to go?
Yeah, actually, what we would like to do is to start the training as soon as possible with the videos, and then doing at the buddy team during the Atlantic session, so we can start working on it. And if we have doubts, write them down so we can talk to anyone who knows the answer to our doubts, so we can get the work done.
Okay. So did you have a question there?
Yeah, the question is, if we have a question or a doubt, who will be the one to answer our questions?
Well, you can talk to me, of course. Perfectly fine.
Okay, all
Or
right.
you'll talk to Steve. You could talk to. It depends what your question is, you know. And then maybe for these tasks, it's like I don't even know the answer to them. Like when we have, like I don't know what this money was spent on. We have to talk to Exceli. He's the only person who's
Okay.
gonna know.
I think mostly some of my questions will be, if we have a question about expenses, shall we go on Slack and ask directly to XLE or BNA or
no, only email. So it says here in the
only
task
email.
list, it's only email. It's only
Okay.
email. Always email.
Okay.
And you could go on Slack and say, hey, we emailed you this information about this particular transaction.
Okay.
You know, and you got to CC me. I mean, these are not like just like a yes or no answers. It could be complicated.
And
you know,
the CC is going to be to Unity group.
Sure, or j
Okay.
at exit.io. Either way, right?
Okay. All right.
So I think we're pretty much done, right? Or
Yeah.
like the only other thing here is I was noticing for Innovate United LLC, we have the checking, savings, and savings. So these two are VZ Enterprise here.
Mm-hmm.
These two are the PayPal and Wells Fargo savings for Innovate United Main. And then we already have the main checking pretty good here. So this is starting balance transfer. I don't know why this is all backwards. We always do everything from the, it doesn't matter really, I guess. Okay, so there's obviously, so 2017 is, people skip that. And it looks like there people are focusing.
Somebody do me a favor and reshare the link for the doc so I have it, guys.
Yeah, for our notes for today. Okay, so obviously there's still a lot of questions here. Like this isn't even close to done here. Right, so all these things need to be filled out for all of this for 2016. And it looks like the only ones that were filled out are the ones that I did or something. I don't know.
Thank you.
So this still needs to get done. Okay.
Okay.
I think this is really good.
But we're making progress. I mean, like it's like there's 5 of us. If all 5 of us literally just focused on the work, right?
Yes.
Maybe there's more than 5 of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. There's 7 of us here right now. If all of us focused on all the work, we get this done in like a day or 2. You know, but it takes us weeks and weeks and months because we're just not doing the work. You know? I mean, if 7 people literally like did all the training, knew how to do it, and just did it, it would be done in like a day or 2. Like it's not, this isn't rocket science. It's just taxes. You know?
Simple math.
Yeah, it's just simple math. It's just like okay, Venmo cash out. All right, maybe this is income, right? We can double check. It might have been a pass through, right? But we can double check it. Not a problem. Monthly service fee. This is a fee, right? I mean, that's pretty easy to tell, right? Monthly service fee. It's a fee. If you're wondering about all the different types of categories, you know, if you go into Exit Inc. and you look at all the ones for Exit Inc., it's pretty much done already. We finished it, and those are all pretty much the same categories, like 10 categories that you can choose from. Right here it is. So you got travel, a draw, a loan, rent, food, fees, legal, lawyer, professional services, obviously transfers, office equipment, office supplies, utilities. Utilities is basically anything that has to do with like phone, internet, communications. It's all utilities. Electricity, an investment or income. I mean, there's not a lot of options here. Travel, food. I mean, it would be advertising, office supplies, professional legal services. Yeah. A transfer or return. So a return is when something's actually refunded, which is a little different. All right. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's like 10 categories. So any other last questions? So it looks like for Innovate United, we have a lot of the information. It just needs to be organized. So it looks like these ones would go for VZ Enterprise, checking and savings. And then this is Innovate United, Wells Fargo Savings, and PayPal. There. So we got PayPal. Here's the savings ledger. Okay.
All right.
This is Innovate United. This is the old checkings one. Checking 3, Innovate Finance spreadsheet, Innovate United Finance LC spreadsheet. Okay. So I think all that looks good. So the only other things that are missing is the Exit Inc. savings. I don't know why that one didn't get organized properly. But I mean, if they did the Innovate United ones, then it doesn't make sense that they didn't do the Exit Inc. ones. So I mean, they probably exist somewhere. It's just we don't know.
So we probably should start with Exit Inc. because we know that you're more aware of this, and we can have you can have direct contact with Excel, and then when we get this one figured out, we can move on to the other one, so we will be 100% sure what we are doing.
I mean, if you want to, we just want to get it all done as quickly as possible. That's the goal. Getting it all done as quickly as possible.
All right, this was a quick check-in for me. I'm about to finish the $100 million budget thing.
Nice.
I will be back on at 7 if you're there, Jay, or 7 in an hour, whatever time it is. I just crawled out of bed. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning here. So let me get this done. An hour.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Since I basically know the stuff for the checking and I know this stuff anyway, I can get to do what I need to do. Goodbye.
So,
Bye.
So shall we check out? Are we done? Are there any other questions?
I think we can check out.
Yeah, we can check out.
I'm just working a little more on these finances. Okay, so it looks like you guys want me to do the checkout. So let's see if I can find
it. Anybody wants to start checking out?
Yeah, I can start. Well, I like when we get training to get work done. I think we are going to start working more and getting more work done next week. So I'm happy about that. So I'm glad we did this meeting. Check.
Okay.
James, check out. Thomas, Lucy?
Yes.
You want to check out?
Yep. Yeah, I really love today's session, and I learned some quite things. I think it's always good to practice whatever we learned, and I think I'm going to try to do that by tomorrow, also doing extra final. Yeah, check.
Thomas?
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so excited for today's session. I've learned something. Okay, you're familiar with something because we learned that you taught us the other day, Jay. So at least I'm excited about that. Yeah. I'll put that to action so that some of these tasks and then we can move forward to another new task.
Cool. So I'll go next. I thought this was reasonable. I mean, it will be nice next week where we skip a main session and actually focus on getting the work done. I also, I mean, none of this is anything new for me. I mean, I've gone over this at least like 3 or 4 times. But I understand that it's a lot of steps. I mean, there's 7 steps to the finances and taxes, and they're all like different. They're moving parts, and there's different things going on at different places. So I certainly understand why people would have more questions and want to go through it again. I mean, we can go through it as many times as we need to go through it, but we also need to just do the work. And then by doing the work, you learn how to do it. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like a much better way to do training is just to get it done. And then through learning how to do it, you actually, learn, like find out how to do it, Check. Jorge, you want to check out?
Sure, I believe it's something that that I have been like thinking from the beginning. Doing things is also training, but there's always a guide needed because since we are new on this, it's really easy to make mistakes and well, it's good to be wrong sometimes, but because that's the way you learn. But sometimes it's better to have a guidance so you can do it well from the beginning.
Is James here? No, James. Okay, and just a reminder that we want to definitely do our information indexing, get better at that, and then also to index this training video into the finance training video list. It's important as well. But I think we're good.
I'll be working on the session body tracking, and so you can check it out later.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're done with the session, everybody. We'll see you later, unless you're able to help him with something. James, I think we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry, my mic had a problem. So I think I would like to check out. So today the session has been great, actually. Some of the stuffs that I've learned, I think I need to put it into practice, because there are certain things that we can't learn by just listening. And I'm just waiting for the coming week to make a lot of mistakes and then learn from there. Because I think that's the only way that I will understand to do certain things that we have talked about today. But overall, the session was great, and that's my checkout.
Cool, thanks, James.
Thank you, James.
Okay, team. So see you tomorrow. This is the end of the session, and hopefully we can meet tomorrow, same time. Start some working on bot teams, if possible, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, Jay. Bye, Nelly. Nelly, talk to you later.
Yeah, take care.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I'm going to sleep now.
Okay.
I think it is deep on our side.
Bye.
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 Hello, Jay.
Yeah, what's up?
I have some request to ask you.
Yeah, what's your question?
Yeah. Okay. It's just a request. Okay. I needed you to give me. Okay, to show me some tasks, like small tasks that I can help you.
Well, right now I'm doing some session value tracking. This is pretty task orientated, but again, what we want people to do is take on responsibilities and actually learn that responsibility and learn how to do it, like, every week, every month, right? Because they're all ongoing responsibilities. And each responsibility could have dozens of tasks, right? So, we try to stay away from just teaching people a single individual task, because then basically you would be reliant and dependent on me or someone else to get tasks. So it's kind of like up to you to like find a responsibility and then learn the responsibility and learn and understand how to create and make the tasks that need to happen to get the responsibility done. It's also like empowering individuals to get more involved. So, but yeah, we just did all the finance training. You're welcome to jump on the finance training. You can watch more of the finance videos if you need to do that. And then, it's all ready to go. We just want to get everything done.
Yeah, because I want to put more effort on these works, and at least if I can have more responsibility and have more tasks. Like it's like for finance, for tasking. So if that will be my responsibility, I'll be more like glad to have that.
Yeah, and just remember, you're like literally the newest person involved, right? There's no one newer than you, right? Even Albina got involved like right before you.
Yeah.
And so it could take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even a month or 2 months to just even figure out what is going on at all. Like for example, Julie was just really bad. I mean, in many ways, you're better than Julie. I mean, she just did not understand what was going on at all and would just do all these random things, and it would be like totally useless, and she wouldn't get any work done, you know, and she would basically just want to get paid for everything. And it's just like, you know, eventually she finally caught on and started like taking on more responsibilities and figuring out. Now she's basically doing payroll. And it's like, you mean, you just, all you have to do is find one thing to work on and you can support the team, right? And there's literally 300 responsibilities, right? So you just got to choose one, you know, in by choosing a responsibility and in talking to me instead of being like, hey, Jay, I don't know what to do, right? Like, that's like the worst thing you can say to me, instead of being like, you know, how do I do this? And then I can give you feedback and actually work with you on what you're interested in working on, because that will help, you know, move things forward. It's just a lot easier to communicate with somebody when there's interest and excitement and, like, you know, energy being put into it, as opposed to like, I'm not doing anything, I'm not planning on doing anything until you tell me to do something. It's like there's no excitement there. It's like, well, okay, then don't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, So can you give me the link to that, to those responsibilities, so that I can take at least for now? I take like 2 and train on them.
Sure.
So I can get back to you when there is a questions.
Exactly. Yeah. So the most important, and our responsibilities are not particularly organized, so there's a lot of messiness there. But the most important responsibilities are the overall priorities, right? So the overall priorities are like the number one, and we're also even looking at the major deadline ones. But the overall priorities are like important, and then you have the team priorities and the client. There's the client priority list and a couple other ones. So, and it's all in this doc. It's like the it's all in the full team doc. So now, although I might move it to the overall priorities doc. But I'll just, are you in the notes right now?
Today's note
the notes for today.
Yeah.
So I put the full team doc just like right here, so you can see it. Actually, I'll look it up at the very, very tippy top. Full team doc. Okay. So that has a list of all the overall priorities. The other place that you're going to want to look is the buddy team schedule. And you should be scheduling yourself into the buddy team schedule as well, right? So you should know your schedule. You want to get yourself organized. You want to get your buddy team organized, your buddy team proposal. That's all the most important stuff. This is what we're talking about right now. We're talking about you knowing your responsibilities, so you know what to work on. So every individual is responsible for 5 responsibilities.
Okay.
So you have to choose 5 responsibilities, and then you need to learn them. And then once you have your 5 responsibilities and your main doc is organized, and you have your schedule, and you know when you're working, and everybody else knows that too, and how everything fits together, and your main buddy team proposal, then you move up from level 3 to level 4. And then at level 4, you got to become more independent and start scheduling some of your own independent buddy team slots as well. So that's what we want to get you to.
Okay, so okay, I just go to that doc you have clicked here, and I take some responsibility and work on them.
Well, again, there's two steps. One is just choosing which responsibilities you want to work on.
Okay.
Right, and then we can work with you to train you on those responsibilities, and work with us on those responsibilities. And then step, 3 is you basically working on those responsibilities on your own. But once you decide what responsibilities you're interested in working on, like responsibility organizing, you can do without even needing to know how to do the responsibility, right? So responsibility organizing, we have 300 responsibilities. Every single responsibility needs like a link or a doc or like a section within a doc. And you would write the responsibility, what it is, link videos and information about the responsibility, and, go through notes, find notes that relate to it. So responsibility training is just as important as responsibility organizing is just as important as actually doing the responsibility, but you're not actually doing it, you're just organizing it. And when you organize a responsibility, it's exactly the same for every single responsibility, right?
Okay.
So that's also extremely important as well. And so it's just a matter of like slowly understanding the responsibility, what the different components are, the different steps, getting more training on it, and then eventually you'll be able to do it,
Yeah.
So the other thing I'm linking here to our notes right now is the buddy team schedule. So if you go into the buddy team schedule and you go all the way over to the right side,
okay,
it says info. If you click on info, it has the links to all the responsibilities as well.
Okay, so I'll just take on the responsibility and work. So that after if in a question I can get you through Skype so that you can imagine how you can train me. Or how does it go?
Yeah, I mean you can Skype me. Again, it's like everybody's able to do something. Like James, knows at least like 4 or 5 responsibilities. So you can talk to James to learn all 4 or 5 responsibilities that he knows how to do. Lucy knows like 5 to 10 responsibilities. So you could learn 10 different responsibilities from Lucy, right? So you don't have to talk to me to get training. You can get help and training from anybody. And it's part of our priorities is to work with new people and get you working together with other people. So when you break into the buddy teams, anytime you're in a buddy team with people, you want to learn the different responsibilities that they know how to do or whatever they're working on, and you just want to learn as much as you can from everybody, including me. So it's like it doesn't have to be me, because you can learn any responsibility, and even so, somebody who's been around for a while, if you're learning their responsibility and they could pass it off to you, then that would allow them to start working on some of the other responsibilities that they're trying to learn.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not just me. You can learn from anybody, and we have all the videos. There's many videos that you can watch about all different types of responsibilities. And yeah, I mean, again, it could take months to figure it all out. And then if you really want to like excel within this network, and again, it's like we're very different from any other thing you probably ever even heard about. We're not an organization. There's about 20, 30 different organizations and branches to our network. And it's just a lot. I mean, primarily what we talk about is our primary client that's paying us, but we have an additional 20 other projects that we're working on, not to mention all the things that we have internally. It's just endless. And to learn the whole thing and understand the whole big picture and like our global, transformation plan and everything, it could take 2 or 3 years of working like full time. So we have people who've been involved for over 2 decades, right? So we're on like going into the second decade of this evolution and this movement, like of what we're doing and helping all these different organizations. And my background comes from sustainability, but different people have different backgrounds, and it's all about helping individuals and helping people, and every person's working on something a little different. So it's like it's just a big, huge web of wonderful things to help people in the world, and one step at a time, one little responsibility at a time. But what we can't do is we really can't focus on individual tasks. There's just too much to do to hold people's hand on. I mean, we probably have like 300 to 500 responsibilities. There's about 30 to 60 projects. So every project has about maybe like 10 responsibilities or more, right? And so the projects all fit into the branches. So there's like 3 to 6 branches, and then that's where all the projects fit into. And every project has like a couple dozen responsibilities, and every responsibility has dozens and dozens of tasks. And so there's literally thousands upon thousands of tasks to do, and it would just be all but impossible to organize the tasks because there's just too many of them.
Right.
But we'll do our best. We certainly do our best to like document the tasks. And when we're going through our meetings, right? I know you're still new to a lot of this, but we go through our meetings. In our meetings, our tasks are yellow, so we make the tasks yellow, and then the responsibilities, we make the responsibilities kind of like this beige color, and then projects, As an example of projects would be like personnel support, which is what we're doing right now. And this would be blue, right?
Okay.
So if you people who have oversight over a project, which again, projects are like, you know, as many as 10, 20 different responsibilities. Project oversight is given to buddy teams, right? So individuals don't even really have authority over projects. We always give that to groups of people like buddy teams, right? So that's project. So you as an individual just need 5 responsibilities, and then you create a buddy team that would take on a single project. So you in your buddy team would probably just be one buddy team of, and this is secondary buddy teams, right? Like work-based buddy teams that would take on that project as well. Like you can have multiple buddy teams working on a single project, and then within that project there could be a whole bunch of responsibilities, or other responsibilities that you're working on. So, anyways, James should be able to help you out as well, and it just takes time. So if you guys want to keep chatting right now, you can.
Yeah, you can chat on the James.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what I have to do right now, I think I have to take those small tasks so that I can perfect on them. Then, as time goes, as I get deep into the community, I can take the bigger tasks.
Yeah, and again, we call them responsibilities.
Yeah.
Right? So here, let me give you an example of just like so we have general projects, responsibilities, and tasks within the network of all the work that needs to get done. Most of it is all related to the client work, right? But in addition to that, there's what we call, when we're setting up our sessions, there's session positions. So at the end of the session, there's 3 session positions that do the responsibility verification and task verification for the session, the master document updater, and then the session value tracking. The session value tracking is one of the easier ones. So you would come over here and you would go down to the bottom, and this is our session value tracking. You would look at the attendance, which we usually have on top. So Lucy, Thomas, James. Hey, Jay, I'll be a little bit around for it. Okay.
Yep.
Let me just all right, so this is our attendance for the day. So I come down here. I'm updating the attendance. And this would be like, so prep. I don't think we did any prep. Early, no one came early. Jay and Jorge were on time. Nelly, James, Thomas, and Lucy. So this would be 2 points. And this would be 1 point. So then we have our participation.
Yep.
Right? And so this is something that I usually do. Usually have a manager that oversees the participation credits. But basically you have the number of hours. We all put in 2 hours. And then you have like Nelly put in a lot of effort and time and helped with the documentations and the planning. Obviously I was doing a lot of facilitation and everything, and Jorge was helping a lot. You didn't really do too much, right? So you and James and Lucy didn't interact as much with the session. So you guys wouldn't have as much participation credits within the session, right? So the more you interact, the more you take on, the more you're helping with notes and collaborating and working together, the more session credits you get. And this has to do with like our equity systems and all that kind of stuff. So then your time, well, this is the same thing. We just did that. I think that's and then also Steve checked in. So Steve would also get a check-in point. Steve, voice check-in, and we'll give him like 5 points. Session positions, facilitation, note-taking, Jay and Jorge. Timekeeping, Jorge. Video indexing, we're changing video indexing. It's going to be like 5 points. Hi, sweetie. Session value tracking, so I'm doing that. You know, Jorge did a little bit as well. Work tasks. So if you do a task during a session, you can get a point. You know, like Jorge was doing a task for the calendar update. That would be like 1 point. Nelly made the new doc for what was it? The major deadlines. So that would be a point, right? So basically, by participating, you get points. The points turn into equity and value that you can grow within the company and within the network.
Okay, so the more I participate, the more point I get, the more I grow. Right?
Very nice. Yeah, the more you're getting involved, the more for everything, right? So the signing up and responsibilities, right? So if people had signed up for these responsibilities, they would also get points. So here we would say, you know, this would be like sign up points. And so here you basically just have Nelly and Jorge each get 2 points, and that's it. Because no one else signed up for any of this. Like no one signed up for this. So we just put them out there, but people didn't. I mean, we know some people are doing it, but they're not there. So we'll just give Nelly and Jorge 2 points for that. So Nelly got 6 hours, plus she got her attendance point, plus she had her her tasks that she gets 1 point, plus she had her sign up point was 2 points. So it's 2, 3, 4 points in 6 hours. Nelly. And then for me, I did the facilitation, did note taking, I did some value tracking. Like mom, see some facilitation time on time. I got to get 2 points for being on time. So Jorge gets a point for attendance and a point for on time is 2 points. 6 hours note taking, video tracking. He's only going to get 5 points for video tracking. So we're going to do the video tracking, video indexing based on this. So it's like 1, 2. He actually would be 3 points because there's only 3 of them.
Okay.
But we'll give him 5 points anyways. All right, session value tracking, 0.25 hours. So he's getting 8.25 hours. No, he's getting 7.25 hours plus 2 to 7 points. Okay. So then after you finish getting all the points, so you guys are getting 3 hours plus 1 point. James, 3 hours plus a point. And this is 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Lucy total is 3 hours plus 1 point, right? So then you would come into the session value tracking spreadsheet. This is the Sonic team from a couple days ago, right?
Yep.
And here you have like how many, whoops, let me just expand this out. Here you have how many, like the time, the points. You could also have money contributions, but most of us don't do that. But eventually in the future, we might have people who do that. So you have your time and your credits. So, you know, it says here Lucy got 1,000 credits. I seriously doubt that. But the point is that this is where it's all logged.
So okay, the credit. What does that mean? The credit.
Well, these are the credits that you're accumulating that build value within the network, and this can be distributed in the future. It's kind of like equity and tokens, you know. Yeah.
Okay, so it's automatic. So when you fill it will automatically enter the credits.
Yeah, you automatically get credits by participating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So for today, we would add in. So this would be the session itself would be Sonic. No, this would be Sonic. This would be Andromeda main weekly session, right? And then this would just be session credits. This is perfectly fine. You don't. It doesn't need to be like this other stuff, right? So these are just normal session credits. So today's date is the 27th.
7.
And then we would check in here. Oh, and then the other one that's missing was we had Steve as well. So Steve gets 5 points for checking in by voice, for a voice check-in. That's all he gets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Say what?
For Steve, we need to add the hours.
He didn't have any hours. He just checked in.
Okay.
So we had 7 people. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had one more, 7. And so we had Nelly, Jay, Jorge, James, Thomas, Lucy, Steve. Okay?
Yep.
And then we can go like this. All of this is the same for everybody. Oops. And then for Nelly, we would just take the information. So Nelly got 6 hours, 4 points. All right, so I put 6 hours and 4 points, and then it automatically calculates her credits.
Okay.
And then for Jay, I got 10.25 hours and 2 points. Right, the points right here. 3 points. I know, 2 points.
That's 2 points.
So 8.25 and 2 points. Jorge got
7.5 hours, 2.5 hours.
And 7 points. So Jorge would be 7.5 and 7. Thomas, 3 hours, 1 point. Steve got 5 points. Okay?
Yep.
That makes sense?
It makes sense. Yeah.
Cool. And then we could verify this and make it green or whatever. So I would say, I have some questions about this one, especially with the 1,000. It's not easy to get 1,000. It happens every once in a while, but I don't remember Lucy getting extraordinarily actively involved. So I'm very curious about it. I want to see if we could take a look what the easiest way to do that. So if I go to the full team, so if I pop up on the full team real quick,
Okay.
I can go to the Sonic team. Now come down to the Sonic team. I'd want to go to the notes. The important docs master list doesn't seem to have notes. Just concerning. Notes. So these are the notes. They're just not heading for some reason. So Thursday, the 27th, Sonic Weekly main session. Wednesday the 26th. It's weird that it says Wednesday the 26th. Let's make sure that was right. Wednesday 26th, yeah, this is correct. So the first thing to note here is that there's no attendance. Right?
Yeah, there's no attendance.
So that's a problem.
Okay.
The second thing you would do is you would go to the check-ins.
Check-ins, yeah.
And basically, imply that this is the attendance. And so you'd want to update this.
Lucy.
So it's hard to know whether people were there on time or not. We'll see when we get down to the value tracking if maybe they did some additional attendance. But basically, here's your attendance in case it was, just to confirm and double check it. So now the easy way to get down to the bottom is you just go to the table of contents right here. Right, and you can update it, and then it goes down to session value tracking at the bottom. So here's time participation, on time, Steve, Lucy. So these are all the people who are here. So that looks pretty good. It was a 3-hour meeting. Steve, Lucy, Abdul, Asif, Albina, Benji, Julie. It's kind of hard to do after the fact. It's always better to do this right after the session. But so Jay and Asif facilitated, supposedly. I doubt Asif facilitated as much, but note-taking, Jay and Albina. I don't think Albina did much there either. So I would say that I got like 3 hours. Albina probably did like maybe half an hour or something. But anyways, every time it might be a little bit different on exactly how it all works out. And Abdul and Lucy timekeeping, not a lot of timekeeping went on here, you know, but we're gonna go towards like points on this as well.
Yeah. So many for
Albina, so much hours.
Hours change.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like people are getting a lot of value for not doing a lot of work. So video indexing, we're changing to doing the point system, right? So video indexing is just going to be based on how many video indexes there were. So there was 1, 2. So it's like they didn't even do it well. And they want like 3 hours of video indexing and they didn't even do it. It's just like, no, it's not going to happen. You know, it's like if you want to do video indexing, you got to do it to get the points, right? So this is basically going to be like 1 point each, because that's all that was really done.
2 points. Yeah.
Session value tracking. So this is good. So this means maybe that Asif didn't really do anything. Maybe Abdul did, you know, a point. But by signing up for value tracking, you get a point just by doing that, right? It looks like Albina mainly did it. Task responsibility masker looks good. This looks good. This looks good. So creating the doc, that would just be a point. Lucy, I don't know what she did, but it's probably fine. Task responsibility sign up. We could see if anyone signed up for anything. So responsibilities, no one signed up for responsibilities. Lucy did that task, and that which we already covered. Abdul and Lucy are signed up for that. So yeah, so you have 2 points and for Lucy, 1 point for Abdul. And then this means she completed the task. So you get 1 point for signing up for the task, and then you get another point for completing it.
Okay.
So the only other question is really like the actual hours and level of involvement. It's hard to really say what happened. I wasn't particularly happy with it, but I'm not going to be able to really push it unless I rewatch the video, you know?
Yeah.
But it should help a lot already. Like the idea that Abdul got 16 hours and he barely did anything is just insane. So if we got 9 hours of time, session value tracking, timekeeping, we're going to give him 1.5 hours for that. Video indexing, he's getting 1 point instead of 3 hours. Creating doc, he's getting a point. Session task responsibility verification, work task 1 point. And he's also getting 2 points for sign up. 1 point. So that's 9, 10, and 10.75.
Yep.
So that's much more, it's still really high, but at least it's reasonable.
Okay, and these hours, are they the total hours you're supposed to work in a week, or the hours for that?
No, it doesn't have anything to do with work hours because it's these are contribution hours in time that you're putting into contributing.
Okay.
So let's see what we got for testing points. So we have 9, 10, 11.75.
11.75.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points.
6.
Let's see if it's going to get 1.5. So 9. Cool. So anyway, so you could update the session value tracking, like mainly it's Abdul and Lucy. So 10.75 and 3, 11.75 and 6. So this would be Lucy 11.75 and 6. And Abdul was 10.75 and 3. So that's like much more reasonable for like the actual contribution that they did. And Asif is more like 10.5 or whatever. I can't remember what it was, but and Julie and Benji, there's no like I don't think that they put in that much either. But anyways, whatever. So the point is that over time we get better and better and better at it, but we definitely try to keep people in check a little bit when they just go a little overboard, and we'll be fixing it. But the less value we issue, the better for everyone, because it's like we don't want to just like you can't get value for doing nothing. I mean, this is real value and equity and voting power within the network. Cool. So anyways, that's another position that you learned today, and we also recorded it so other people can learn it more as well, and we can add that to our indexing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Any other questions? I got to get going here. I have another meeting in 5 minutes.
Okay, no, for now. Okay, let me go to the responsibilities, and I'll choose. For now, there's the 2 responsibilities.
Yeah, I mean, you can work on 5. So you should choose 5. 5 is what we ask people to choose, and then you just start with 1. I mean, you only need to work on 1 at a time. So choose 5 that you're interested in, and then you can ask us, which ones you think are the best to work on, and then we can help guide you and help you out.
Okay.
And then talk to people, be like, these are the responsibilities I'm interested in. Do you know more information about them? And, people will help you.
Okay, cool. That's what I'll do right now. Sure.
Cool. Awesome. All right. I'll talk to you soon. You have a good one. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Oh, and remember, tomorrow there's the Africa main weekly session.
Yeah. Okay. Lucy texted me on the WhatsApp. On whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, take care.